Hello and welcome to the Phillips Film Baby Journey. I am Requill, and this little summertime fine baby is Legacy. She is currently 7 weeks old, and when she turns 11 weeks, unfortunately, she is going to have to go to daycare because mama got to go back to work to pay these bills from having IVF to conceive her. This video is going to be about things you should do to find a daycare as far as what you should ask in the process. But before we get into that, I want you to make sure you hit that subscribe button to join the family. We bring new videos every Sunday, and I want you to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up because you're gonna like it. Don't even worry about, waiting till the end to give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up now. The very first thing you want to do when deciding what daycare you want to send your kid to is list out what are your deal breakers. What is your oh hell no, as far as what you are willing to put up with the daycare. Some of the questions that I'm going to have on this list pretty much summarize what my deal breakers are, but I want you to make sure that you list out what yours are because they could be completely different. The second thing you want to do is check your state's website that inspects daycare facilities. In Texas, it's the Department of Family and Protective Services, and I'm going to leave the link below so that you can search for daycare providers and also see any citations they may have received. They keep inspections on file for 3 years. There are some facilities around my neighborhood that had 90 citations. To give you a sense of what is normal, the one that she's going to go to had 11 citations. So make sure you take a look at that. Once again, for Texas, I will link that below. The third thing you want to do is check online reviews. We live in a digital era, so there is going to definitely be something out there about that daycare. Yeah, there are some people who are petty or may have gotten mad at the facility because of something real minor and put a negative review out there, but they are going to be in the minority. If a facility is great, it will be some good reviews out there. So make sure you check Google, Yelp, Facebook, ask for referrals from your friends who happen to send their kids to daycare. The fourth thing you should do after you've done those 3 things is give them a call. Before you drive there, make sure that they have availability and they're in your price range. There are a lot of daycares that have wait lists for infants. I went to look at daycares back in May of 2019. It's now August 2019. And some of those daycares did not have space available in September for when I needed daycare. I know that's crazy, but it's the truth because the infant rooms require there to be at least 1 adult to every 4 babies. Most infant rooms can only hold 8 babies. So you're looking at only 8 spots for months. That creates very limited availability. As far as pricing goes, see what you can afford. We initially thought that we was going to do a nanny. Daycare was nowhere on the table. And then I started looking at them prices for the nannies and I was like, ooh, child. I still got these IVF bills to pay off, so our baby gonna have to go to daycare with the other kids. On average, a lot of the daycares that we went to go tour, they are charging between around $200 to $300 per week. There is one daycare that I thought would be perfect. It's not close to our house, it's closer to my husband's job, but they were charging $400 a week and they didn't have any availability until March 2020. So I had to scratch them off the list before I could even fall in love with touring the facility. But that brings us to number 5. Hey, little munchkin. After you've done your due diligence, then go tour the facility. The first thing you want to look at is the cleanness of the exterior of the building because that's going to let you know if it's going to be clean on the inside more than likely. You also want to take note to see if there's some type of security measure to enter the building. I'm talking about cameras outside, a button that you need to press to get buzzed into the building, because if your child's someplace all day, you don't want anybody to just be able to walk into the building. I know we live in crazy times and anything can happen at any given moment, but that extra layer of security will help you feel better while you're at work or doing whatever it is that you're doing while your kid is at daycare, knowing that nobody can just walk in there and take your baby. You also, speaking of cameras, make sure that there's cameras in all of the rooms with the children in them, because if there's a situation, you want to be like, roll them cameras back. Let me see what happened. Your baby come home with a scar, a wound, or whatever that they didn't have before they went. Let me see what happened. And if they can't roll them tapes back, that's a bad facility, because I know kids fall down, accidents happen. That's fine, but I want to be able to verify that what y'all said happened. So make sure there's cameras. So you also want to make sure that they have a protocol for who can sign out your child. So yes, maybe you're good, but you and your baby daddy got into it. They no longer on the pickup list. You need to communicate that to the daycare, and they need to have some type of system to not release your child to whatever party it is that you don't want to have. Because if they just give your child to anybody, just say, hey, I'm here to pick up Legacy, here you go, we got a problem. You also want to check the menu. Right now she is getting breast milk about 90% of the meals that she has. The other 10% I'm supplementing with formula. But eventually she will start getting snacks and a little bit of table food. You want to look at that menu to see if there's nutritional stuff being served, if there's any type of allergies that they need to be aware of, because maybe your child has a peanut allergy, maybe you don't eat pork for religious reasons. Want to make sure they can accommodate that. You want to also see what type of baby formula are they serving, because some daycares do provide formula. You also want to definitely check to make sure that you have the qualifications of the staff that you are leaving your child with. Are they trained in CPR? Do they have any type of early childhood education degrees? Or everybody just working off of GEDs up in here? Do they speak Spanish? How long have they been with this daycare? Because that also is a telling sign. If it's a facility that has a ton of new employees, more than likely they don't treat their employees well, and that's why they can't keep anybody, and they are going to have a ton of turnover. So yeah, some of those people may be good, but then some of those people may not be qualified or as good to your kid as the teacher you initially met with when you went on the tour. Is that would annoy me, that I selected a facility like, oh my gosh, I trust Miss Linda or whoever the teacher's name is, and then next month I come in there, oh, she's not here, and you think like, okay, I understand people find better jobs, different opportunities, they move, whatever. But then if it's something that's happened on a monthly basis, I don't want to be dealing with all these different teachers. So make sure that they do not have a lot of turnover. And finally, make sure that there is an evacuation plan in place, because they're going to have your child all day. If there's a fire, some act of God happens and they need to evacuate the facility, where are you taking my baby to? Where can I get my baby? Because that would drive me absolutely insane, that let's say there's a tornado or something and I don't know where my kid is and I'm just trying to figure out where they took all the babies. Those are my tips and the questions that I recommend asking when you are looking for a daycare facility. Now, me and this little sleeping beauty are out. Tune in next Sunday. Bye bye.